On September 9, 2025, Israeli fighter jets launched a shocking airstrike in central Doha, Qatar, targeting a meeting of senior Hamas leaders. The precision and timing of the strike were meticulously planned. This was no border skirmish. It was a direct hit on a major Gulf capital, home to the largest U.S. military base in the region. The ramifications were immediate and far-reaching. The attack killed not only its intended targets, but also Qatari civilians, turning a counter-terror operation into a national trauma and a violation of sovereignty. The streets of Doha were filled with chaos and fear. For the Gulf, the strike shattered the illusion of safety under U.S. protection and exposed new vulnerabilities in a city known for diplomacy, not war. The sense of security was irrevocably damaged. The event has upended regional security assumptions, leaving every nation to wonder, if Doha isn't safe, where is? The geopolitical landscape of the Middle East has been altered. As the world reels, the future of Middle Eastern stability hangs in the balance. The international community watches closely, uncertain of what comes next. Qatar's response was immediate and fierce, with officials moving quickly to address the nation and the world. The government wasted no time in making its position clear, determined to show that such aggression would not go unanswered. Condemning the strike as an act of state terrorism, Qatari leaders described it as a deliberate escalation and a violation of international law. They called it a grave breach of sovereignty, mourning the loss and expressing solidarity with the victims and their families. Doha immediately called for an emergency Gulf Cooperation Council meeting, framing the attack not just as a Qatari issue, but as a threat to the entire region's stability and security. In a rare and powerful show of unity, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and Oman all condemned Israel's actions and stood firmly behind Qatar, setting aside past rifts and rivalries for a common cause. Protests erupted across Gulf capitals, with thousands taking to the streets. The public's outrage was unmistakable, and a new sense of shared vulnerability swept through the region. The strike has put immense strain on the Abraham Accords, with Gulf states now viewing Israel as a volatile threat rather than a reliable partner against Iran, casting doubt on the future of regional cooperation. Saudi Arabia's normalization talks with Israel have stalled indefinitely, and the fragile trust that once underpinned hopes for regional integration has all but evaporated. Across the Gulf, cautious optimism has been replaced by deep mistrust and anger, leaving the region at a crossroads, uncertain of what comes next. In the wake of the attack, Gulf leaders anxiously looked to the U.S. for a decisive and forceful response, hoping for reassurance from their most powerful ally. Instead, they were met with hesitation and carefully worded, muted statements that offered little comfort or clarity about America's intentions. President Trump's administration called for restraint, urging all sides to de-escalate, but stopped short of directly condemning Israel's actions, an omission that sent shockwaves through Gulf capitals and shook confidence in America's security guarantees. The attack on Doha, coupled with Washington's tepid reaction, has exposed the underlying fragility and uncertainty of the U.S. Gulf alliance, raising uncomfortable questions about the future of regional security. Memories of past U.S. inaction, like the 2019 attacks on Saudi oil facilities, have resurfaced, fueling doubts about American reliability and reminding Gulf leaders of moments when support was lacking. The presence of the massive Al Udeid airbase in Doha, a symbol of U.S. military commitment, only made Washington's silence more glaring and difficult to ignore. Now, Gulf states are left to quietly debate among themselves, questioning whether they can truly depend on the U.S. when it matters most, or if they must start preparing for a new reality. The message is clear. Uncertainty looms, and the Gulf may soon find itself standing alone in a rapidly changing world. The Doha strike has triggered a strategic shift across the Gulf. Reliance on the U.S. is no longer enough. Gulf states are accelerating security cooperation, intelligence sharing, and joint defense initiatives within the GCC. They're also deepening ties with China and Russia, seeking new partners and advanced technology. The region is moving toward a more multipolar order, with Gulf monarchies acting as independent players, not passive clients. The U.S. relationship will become more transactional, less rooted in trust. The Israeli strike on Doha may be remembered as the moment the Gulf took its security into its own hands.